Put that coffee down. Coffee's for closers only. You think I'm messing with you? No, you. I'm not messing with you. I'm here on behalf of college football fans, and I'm here on a mission of mercy. If you cannot pass the COVID-19 protocols, if you cannot keep yourself from testing positive, you don't deserve to play football. It's that simple. We got college football programs that are able to do this. We got college football programs that swore up and down that they could do this. And here you are talking about packing a stadium with 90,000 people because you can. Only to find out 18 of your players and 5 of your coaches test positive for the virus in the lead up to what might be the biggest game outside of Alabama and Georgia this weekend. Now, because you can't pass the protocols to play a game at home, we all got to miss out on Florida versus LSU. Oh yeah, they rescheduled it for December 12th. Fat chance that game gets played. Because this was a game that Florida needed to have. This is a game that Florida needed to have. You went down to Kyle Field. You got beat down by the kids at Kyle Field. Even as you're trotting out Kyle Trask, who's a Heisman contender, and Kyle Pitts, who's probably going to walk away with the Mackey Award and would get the Biletnikoff Award if we were able to give it to him. Kadarius Toney is back there. And you got to engage 8 defense with Todd Grantham, and still, you had an 11-point lead into the second half of a game against Ampersand U that you should have won. And now we got to deal with Jimbo Fisher talking all loud and proud about how he finally knocked off a top 5 football program called the Florida friggin' Gators. You are supposed to be contending for the SEC division this year. You have to win the world's largest cocktail party. Georgia's been able to keep themselves healthy. Missouri's been able to keep themselves healthy. Alabama's keeping itself healthy. Arkansas is keeping itself healthy. No, you, Florida, you're the reason we missed out on the only game we wanted to watch at 2:30. You're joining Baylor. Will not be able to keep yourselves clean. Just don't contract the virus. You told us that you could create these bubble environments. You told us that you could take care of your kids. You told us that they were more comfortable, better cared for on these particular campuses. And then we have reports of the kids saying that they had runny noses and coughs the Friday before the Ampersand U game, and they went out there and played football, which has got to make you feel great if you're a Texas A&M fan. Only to have what? To have this game rescheduled? You think this game is going to get played? Please. And now we've had this rash of conference championship games that have been moved to the last possible weekend they could be moved, which was the move before. Not that we particularly care when the American Championship's getting played. Not that we particularly care when the Conference USA Championships get played. But now everybody's encountering the same reality where it can happen to you. And contingencies haven't been made. Well, they're being made now. Florida, trying to get you into the college football playoff this year. Florida, Oregon goes 6-1 and wins a conference championship. They might get in because you couldn't keep yourself clean. Now we got 39 bowls for which everybody is eligible, which means you need to put the Rutgers Scarlet Knights up against the Vanderbilt Commodores because that's what we deserve. We deserve to see these two trash football teams play in December. That's where we're at. Going into what is supposed to be quite the fun weekend for college football. We had Baylor, Oklahoma State on the schedule. Gone. We had LSU on Florida on the schedule. Gone. I'm sure we'll learn about more that'll be gone by the end of this week because that's just the way that it's working out. Because whether or not you believe that this virus is real is past time. But even so, testing positive means that you can't play football. Those are the rules. We're talking about a Florida football team that would be under 50 scholarship players if they tried to play this weekend. And then let's assume that you lose that game to LSU. Then what? Who does that help? If you beat LSU, again, you beat a bad LSU football team. This was a game you needed the style points for. This is a game that you needed to win by 50. This is a game you needed to stop a mud hole in and walk dry the Go Tigers. And now what do we got? We got Scott Strickland coming out here talking about abundance of caution when he's got double-digit people on his program that have tested positive. I can understand how one or two can test positive. I can get that. We can all get there. I think everybody's got that. I don't think you can create a bubble that is college football. But I look at SMU, and they continue to be able to play football. Why? Because they have been the standard. SMU is finally starting to get the love I think they should have been getting in the polls for the last 3 weeks. Now we got University of Tulsa, Cincinnati as the marquee 11 a.m. game this weekend. The other game, the game that Gus Johnson and Joel Klatt are going for the big noon kickoff, is West Virginia, Kansas. And they don't even have the head coach. Les Miles got the virus. Meanwhile, people are hammering Neil Brown in West Virginia to win the Big 12 championship because they're plus 2,000. Oklahoma State's not going to have played a football game in 2 weeks. People are expecting them to be there. Meanwhile, we keep waiting on Houston to play more than one. No, we got to deal with Dan Mullen talking out of both sides of his, not just out of that bad side of his mouth on Saturday, talking about he daring the administration to go against what the governor said they could do, only to find out he can't keep them clean. Tell me, how does that make Dan Mullen look right now? Like a buster. Because all you had to do was say, hey, look, we lost the football game. Credit to their 25,000 fans that he swear up and down was full at Kyle Field. Kyle Field holds over 100,000 people. You talk about it was full. Stop that. Telling you, man, this college football coaching conspiracy stuff, I'm getting tired of it. You got a really good football team. They got beat. We got Nick Saban in the postgame, Dylan Moses in the postgame talking about Ole Miss had our defensive signals, even as Ole Miss is going at warp speed, like they're going to do something with your signals. Maybe it's that Ole Miss is a good football team. Same good football team that put up a bunch of points on both Florida and Kentucky. And we know damn well Kentucky plays defense. This is not the year to make excuses. This is a year to appreciate every game that gets played. We saw Tuesday night NFL football. That is a Maction night. That ain't the night that you're supposed to see undefeated NFL teams play. That is for Kent State versus Akron. That's where we are. Why are you pushing this? You know, I do have to give it up to Scott Strickland because he made the decision. And he had to let people know who actually runs this. Now, there's still something to salvage here for Florida. Or perhaps going forward with a little bit more humility prevents you from being in this situation to begin with. Because this is a bigger deal, not because it's just Florida LSU, but because Dan Mullen had to come out here opening his mouth like that. Every other football coach knows not to tempt that. Every other one. Be grateful for the games you do get to play. Hell, if you go 0 for this year, I don't really think that unless you do something uncouth, you should get fired. It's just a weird year. Meanwhile, that's exactly what seemed to happen down there at USM. Jay Hopson just couldn't keep it straight and narrow. Bringing in these dudes that's questionable. In a year where nobody was saying that Southern Miss had to win a damn thing. We got Tom Herman on the hot seat. Fairly or unfairly. Which I want to get to because turns out Tom Herman's got one of the 5 most talented football teams in the country. The other 4 probably make the college football playoff. All things to bear in mind.